Rest in peace, Mr. Keltner. I send well wishes and prayers to you and your family. And as for you, Doloff, enjoy spending the rest of your life in prison and then spending eternity in hell. And salutations, my lovely little lunatics. It's me, your friendly internet psychopath Insanity, here today with my co-host, Bob.
Hello.
And today on the Insane Report, we have another very sad story. Story about a man, a father, grandfather, who was shot and killed by an activist. A left-leaning activist who should not have been where he was, who was given power he did not deserve, and he took someone's life. There's been a lot of news circulating around this, and now we finally have more clarity, and honestly, it doesn't make it look any better.
It makes it look a lot worse, really.
Yeah. But anywho, enough about this. Let's get into it, shall we? Suspect in Denver shooting, not a licensed security guard. Matthew Robert Doloff was reportedly working as a contracted security guard for 9 News, but as we shall see, he had no right to be there.
And hopefully 9 News gets sued into the ground.
Oh, they will. They will. But let's start off, shall we? The private security guard who's been jailed on suspicion of first-degree murder...
No. Not on suspicion. There's plenty of evidence to show it's first-degree murder.
Yep, but now, especially with the pictures, which we'll go back to in a second. Stemming from a deadly shooting on Saturday in Denver during dueling protests, was reportedly not properly licensed to work in the position. So, 9 News hired an activist with a gun.
Yep.
Matthew Robert Doloff, who's 30 years old.
Hey, same age we are.
God, look at how wrong he went.
Yeah, and we're insane.
It is pretty funny. Was reportedly working as a contracted security guard for 9 News at the time of shooting. The local news station reported late Sunday that he was hired through another company to accompany the news staff to its protests. The station reported that it later found out that it appears Doloff was not actually employed by the company it used, and the company did not provide additional information about his actual employer.
So, what's going on here, do you think?
Well, there are 2 basic situations. A, they didn't vet him correctly, or at all, and they just hired him because he wrote on his profile, security guard. Which is terrible for 9 News. That they're, like, it's one of those things where the recommended, like, where I past worked, I have this, and this. It is if that's the really, really bad thing, is if it turns out they just didn't do their homework, and once again they hired an activist with a gun, and then told him, go to a Back the Blue rally. However, the other thing could be is the main company that hires him could have lent him out on contract to someone else, but once again he's not licensed, which we're going to continue reading. Here it is. The 9 News report went further and said Denver's Department of Excise and Licenses has no record that Doloff was licensed to work as a security guard. So, this is either here's the big thing. It's either on 9 News' head or the company that licensed him out. Because here's the thing. I was a security guard at one time, and I had to get all these background checks done. And that was just for sitting at front desk security, wearing a suit. I wasn't even able to carry a gun. I was told, I always carried a knife with me, and they told me, you cannot carry the specific knife you're carrying. It was just a regular flip pocket knife, but it was too much of a weapon. The only knife I could carry was one of those multi-folder knives.
Like the ones we carried back as a Boy Scout, right?
Yeah, because the other knife was too much of a weapon. The folder knife I could claim was used for, like, the screwdriver and all the bottle opener and all that stuff. But my actual, like, self-defense knife, I could not carry. That's how anal this stuff gets. That's how scared they are of being sued over this. So, yeah, that's the thing. Either the company that contracted him out is done for, or 9 News is done for, or preferably both. Doloff was taken into custody in connection with the clash that took place Saturday at a Civic Center park in Denver. So, once again, this is all this stuff. But let's go to the picture stuff super quick. But yeah, whoops, sorry. So here, we're going to go all the way back up. Luckily, these came out, because these are like the full list of pictures. So as you can see, originally, it's the Back the Blue rally, Black Lives Matter activists, blah, 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 blah. Of course, Black Lives Matter activist is being a douchebag, blah, 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 blah. Continuing on, continuing on, continuing on, continuing on, continuing on. Well, here is, as you can see, this is Doloff, this is Mr. Keltner. Doloff is supposedly what people are saying. It's to me, he seems like the aggressor because he's putting hands on Mr. Keltner. You don't put hands on another individual. And here's what happened. Well, the whole thing is, once again, it could be stated that he was doing his job, trying to bring about the peace. But the problem is, no, I honestly, seeing as how he acted, I believe he is the aggressor in the situation. Even if he's not, you don't put hands on people. And then he gets slapped for it. Because the other thing is, I don't see anything telling me he's security. Because that was a big thing. When I was a security guard, I had to wear a suit with my patch of my company name on it. I had to have a tie, I had to have everything. And if I wasn't wearing the suit, I had to wear a specific shirt that had my company logo blasted right on it. So once again, he puts hands on Mr. Keltner, Keltner slaps him, and backs away. So he is now retreating from the situation. And now, we see Keltner going for something. No, we see Doloff going for something. He's going for his gun. Keltner realizes this and sprays. But as you can see here, between this frame, between one picture frame, going for gun, 1 second. This is 1 second. So he's going for his gun, and he's already fired it.
He doesn't even warn him?
Doesn't look like it, because you can see here, this is not, because I know some people are going to think, oh, that's just an extended barrel. Well, people, I don't know. I don't know who's going to believe that. I have an extended barrel on my gun, but here's the thing, look. It's gone back. That is not an extended barrel. That is a gun, or as you can also see the mist from the gun shooting out. The gun has been fired. He pulled the gun and fired. And as you can see here, now Mr. Keltner has been shot. He's kind of going, uh-oh. But yeah, once again, 1 second. Pulls gun, fires gun. No warning, no nothing. Just shoots him. We'll get into this, and we'll get into that thought in a little second. But from the Sun. Murdered because he backed cops. Denver shooting military veteran Lee Keltner was shot dead in front of his son at an Antifa rally. No, this is not an Antifa rally. This was a Back the Blue rally. An Antifa showed up. He is not a right-wing protester. The right-wing protester, of course, this comes from the Sun. Allegedly killed by security guard during clashes with Antifa, was shot dead in the head in front of his son.
I cannot imagine us going through that.
Oh, no, the guy would have been dead. Military veteran and granddad Lee Keltner was shot after macing. No, son, he was not shot after macing. He was shot immediately. He saw Doloff pull his gun and he maced. Once again, 1 second difference. 3:36:53 p.m. 3:36:54 p.m. 1 second. One. Just one. During dueling rallies in Denver. That dude was a granddad. His 24-year-old son was with him. I moved to Arkansas because Colorado got too expensive and liberal. The left has gotten out of hand. Yeah, they have. Dude was just, it was a hat maker. Lee was a loving husband, father, and friend. He was a minister and helped those in need. He and his family, friends who are he has family and friends who are grieving. And now, once again, right-wing protesters, some people have called him a white supremacist. Kinda. Well, actually. Whoop. Sorry. Because, once again, I'm right here. But yeah, this picture right here kind of blows that out of the water, don't it?
Yeah, it's like when they called the head of the Proud Boys a white supremacist.
Yep, that's pretty funny. Anyway, so, as of how it looks right now, 9 News hired and here's the other thing, yes, Doloff, they have gone through his social media, and yes, he is a left-wing activist. Sorry, lefties, he is part of your side. So, as it seems right now, they hired a left-wing activist and told him, go to a Back the Blue rally.
I'd say you're just asking for trouble, but yeah, no, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. My prayers to the Keltner family. And here's the one thing. Here's the biggest thing where I wanted to also talk about. Because when we went to Seattle, my friend and I had to learn some things. In Seattle, you cannot straight up defend yourself. Man comes at me with a knife, I have to run away. If I was licensed and had a gun in Seattle, and a man punched me right in the face or maced me, I could not use lethal force.
Is it the same in Denver?
It is. And this is why Doloff, I keep switching that. Doloff is screwed. He's done for. The biggest thing that saddens me is recently Denver is no longer a death penalty state.
So he's just going to be a drain on the taxes.
Yep, he's going to be a drain on the taxes for the rest of his life because this is first-degree murder. Because there's no self-defense case. Once again, you cannot use lethal force against someone who is macing you. If the dude if Keltner had a knife, and even if he had a knife and was backing away, Doloff is still in the wrong. Unless that's how kind of strong the you must run away clause is. So, and 9 News is just screwed. They're just screwed. Even if it's the security company's fault, they're still screwed because they didn't do their research. So, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And this is why Trump needs to win. Because if Biden wins, which, come on. You can look at the polls all you want. But when he can't even get 10 people to show up and then 30,000 cars show up for Trump.
4,000 people for Pence alone.
Yeah. There's no chance in hell. There's no chance in hell Biden's going to win. Especially now that the Democrats are realizing how badly mail-in voting is going to bork them.
It's delicious.
But, anywho. Once again, prayers and well wishes towards the Keltner family. And, Doloff, enjoy spending the rest of your life in prison. And maybe, just maybe, you won't spend eternity in hell. Anywho, that's the end of this little video. If you like this video, then check the like button and subscribe for more!
Insanity!
And I will see you all later! Bye, everyone!
Fighting!